Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. Playing a FoCj Conjurer of Fedhas, and I guess we're no longer playing for the 0.19 release tournament. We, in the last episode, attempted Swamp and gave up on that pretty quick. Hydras are harder than I expected with, I don't know, that one Hydra anyway. Because we've killed Hydras, it was fine, but that one, I don't know, we handled wrong, and we now have a pretty cool greatsword that enables me to mess up more against Hydras. And then Donald showed up, and it was gross. Snake was, as I recall, somewhat exciting. We blew up a lot of things with explosive plants, which, how could that be wrong, right? If that's wrong, I don't want to be right. How are our skills looking? We still are not up to 20 yet. Yeah, let's work more on. My defenses are all just they're not great, but they're not awful. It's really just a matter of getting fighting and long blades up, and then whatever else with our remaining experience. I think we just got to go downstairs now. God, can you believe it's already turned 40,000? What a slow game. Okay, so obviously we don't want to mess with Saint Roka if we can help it, so we'll just leave. Now, maybe we could hit Saint Roka fine, but there's no real reason to test that theory. Oh. Huh. Has this always... It says Ballistimacete Spore, which I didn't notice if it was like that before. I guess since I'm not playing on Trunk, there haven't been any stealth updates that I didn't notice, so... or maybe because I'm not playing on Trunk, it doesn't ask about updates, and so if there was a patch update, but there would be no patch update that changed the name of monsters. Okay, so I guess that's part of the change from, away from everything being named Giant. Also, Giant Spores are no longer Giant Spores. They're Ballistimacete Spores. I just didn't notice earlier. Alright, well that's cool, I guess. I approve of that change. Can I maybe get, some mushrooms would be good, I think? I don't need a lot. But a few is nice. And let's eat some jellies here. Also, invocations could stand to be higher. Maybe that's what I should be doing instead of armor, since I'm still using the Fedhas abilities. It is cheaper than training armor. And well, basically, invocations with Fedhas, you never regret having more. So I think that should be a good investment. What exactly we use it for, I'm not sure. Having slightly better mushrooms is good, but I don't know that it's worth training the invocations. I think we're doing it more for better, Oclobs once we finally find some damn fruit. Speaking of, there's fruit for sale in the dungeon. I should check that out. Man, we are just not that strong in melee combat. And I've talked at length about, of course we're not, right? But it's still a disappointment. I feel like a Formicid hit at this level should be more powerful. And I understand that we're not, for reasons of our own making. This, but... it's still a disappointment every time I realize, oh yeah, I did this. Hello, shop! There we go. Give me them fruits, please. Yes. And what else is on my list here? We have a glowing cloak and some potions of curing, mostly. Yeah, there are cloaks that would be good. I don't mind spending a little money on this. It's probably going to be useless, but, that's fine. And you know what? Let's grab this, too. Yeah. Both of them probably going to just be dropped on the floor, but actually, that's an improvement. I'll take the magic resistance over the one extra armor. And how about this? Do I have spare identifies? Yeah, I do. Alright, so let's just identify it. Yeah, it's not good. Not a surprise, but the cloak was a surprise, so, that's fine. P for snake pits. Yeah, but now I gotta go back up for these mushrooms. Follow me! Why? Oh yeah, they're here. Did they follow me last time and I'm just dumb? I don't know. Yeah, this is the staircase we wanted, right? Yes. I love the plants everywhere. It's like evidence. It's my mark left on the world, right? As a Fedhaus worshiper, the level remade in God's image. I don't think I want this amulet actually. Let's eat some royal jellies. The faith is just so good. What is this all about? That's spooky and suspicious. This is all whoa. My spider sense is really tingling in here. It's just not a good place, and as an ant, I can tell. Now we could dig in there, but that's obviously folly. We want to approach it more cautiously, not less cautiously. Hello? There we go. Jeez. Stuff is slow today. Where did we leave the... Yeah, the orcs are all down there. Okay. Whoa, okay, there's several monsters now. Why you killed my mushroom already? That's rude. Yeah, Takima, this is not going to work against Naga warriors. Okay, well, he blinked on top of me, which is fine-ish. Oh, he has a large shield as well. That's something we could perhaps make use of as a Formicid. Let me just put some sunlight down on this guy. Should have done that earlier if I was going to do it, of course. Alright, these mushrooms are, like, not really up to snuff in here. So I guess I will not... Oh, there were large shields already, I guess. Just upstairs. So I think I'm not going to renew my mushroom army. I don't know why, but for a moment there, that just sounded like the most ridiculous... That's what I'm thinking of. Euphemism. Like, I don't know what renew my mushroom army would mean, but it sounds gross. Yeah, I should be kill-holing more. Although, like, even one of these Naga warriors, or mages, has the potential to do quite a bit of damage to us, and I don't want to be in melee with them, but it seems better than being out in the open most of the time. Let's put a note on this floor, just so I remember that Saint Rocha is here, in case I don't know, shaft or something. That's rude, Mr. Shock Serpent. I have potions of resistance. Just they do a lot of electric damage. All right, well, see you later. Get back to me when you learn how to open doors, chump. I wonder if yeah, he's forgotten about me. Oh, great! It's Jorgren and a Shock Serpent. Well, this is not great at all. I mean, when I chose to rest here, I did it knowing full well there was a staircase under me. So I can get out of here. And honestly, that seems like a pretty good plan. You don't want to be in melee with Jorgren. Well, you don't want to be near Jorgren. It puts you in melee with him, but more importantly, Shatter does a heck of a lot of damage from melee range. It's not because he's going to melee you that you're worried, it's because he's not. I guess I'll sunlight this square. Yeah, now it's lighting him up, but not me. Alright, and let's say never go up that staircase. There's a corpse here. I'm going to go ahead and just make a spore. Yes. Be on your way, sir. Blow something up for me. I'm doing this basically so that it will, in the hopes that it will make the level a little more hospitable in the future. All right, we can rest in here a bit. I'm just hoping that like that thing will go explode. It's spent some piety, right? And like for no clear, obvious tactical benefit. I'm sort of hoping that it's a strategic benefit in that I have access to, whenever I run into something troublesome later on the floor, I'm hoping that there will be ballista seats nearby. And I can then make those into useful tactical resources. Long blades at 17.3. I wish it would go a little faster, but I mean, level 20 is pretty high, so it's understandable. We've chosen a very XP hungry sort of setup, I feel like, by going for a conjurer who needs a two-handed weapon and shield training and invocations. Well, speaking of, I'm not sure that this is a good investment anymore. I don't know, I guess it is. The problem is that our mushrooms are no good. The answer is not necessarily, it could be to never use mushrooms again, but it could also be to invest in better mushrooms, right? And I think it's fine to train it a bit. We can handle a couple Nagas, no problem. It's the greater Nagas and Naga warriors especially. Well, I don't know about especially. They're both pretty threatening. These guys also not my friends. And we should be able to halo this area here. And then back off. So that he's haloed and we're not. Okay, fighting is 12. Good, good. Let's eat some more royal jellies. I feel like we're going through food pretty fast for some reason. I guess it's because we're doing a lot of digging, and that costs a lot of hunger. It's fine, we have plenty of food. It just feels even faster than most characters go through food in Snake, and I was trying to think about why. And it's because every time I see a monster, I do this. I don't know if that was a wise shout, but I wanted the Anaconda's attention. Didn't want him to wander away into a pack of more monsters. You know, if you can deal with them one at a time, it's not so bad. Fruits! That's great news. A black mamba, we'll just sort of withdraw a bit. This is some weird mute. Am I sure? Good question. No, of course not. Let's not butcher that. I was feeling a little bit food insecure and was like, hey, something I can eat. But I'd rather just have the piety. I have, in fact, plenty of food. There's no reason to feel food insecure, is what I'm getting at. How did they all find me? Did he shout or something when I wasn't looking? I guess he must have done. Yeah, I don't want any of that. I feel like with a Vamp Greatsword +6 as a Formicid. Like, I should be having an easier time meleeing these guys. And I know it's just because I wasted all this experience, wasted, in quotes, all this experience. But it just feels like it shouldn't be quite as big a difference. I guess I'm, like, wrong. And it actually should be a big difference. I guess this is just a larger amount of experience than I have wasted on, like, any character I can remember. And so I'm feeling the sting of it a bit more than I usually do. I still don't regret it. Like, I maybe regret picking Fedhas. He's very strong, but it costs a lot of experience, and it didn't occur to me to think about how much experience we would already be wasting, and we could maybe prefer not to budget for Fedhas. But I don't know. Maybe it was right anyway. Like, Fedhas is good, and we're alive. So, like, how can we complain? This is what I'm always talking about. Is like, you know, you take some hits for your late game to get a better early game, and that's a good trade-off 100% of the time. I mean, I guess not 100. You could trade it a little too hard, but I don't think we have. I don't know. On the other hand, did we need help in the early game? Yeah, mushrooms are pretty good. I don't think I want any of these spells. So one question is, am I going to go back to Snake 2 and finish exploring it, or am I going to just leave it as, like, a bad place to never go? Obviously, I'll have to go back to leave, but I don't think I'm going to try to explore it. There's too many dangerous monsters there. Between St. Rocha and Jorgren. And, like, honestly, one Shock Serpent is not a joke. It's certainly tempting to think of Snake's main threats as being, you know, Nagas and poison. But in a lot of ways, it's more snakes, you know, Shock Serpents and Guardian Serpents. And even anacondas, because, like, the Nagas you can generally just walk away from, right? And the Shock Serpents can surprise you. They do a lot of damage, and it's a damage type that you're not necessarily so worried about because it's only one rare monster that does, like, any of it. But their very rarity is part of why they are a big threat in Snake, is because you're sort of incentivized to come geared for Naga, so to speak, right? What do they don't say geared for. Yeah, this was maybe not the best fight to take. That's why Shock Serpents are so bad. I was like, yeah, it's just one snake, no big deal, but, like, they do so much damage. I don't know how close that battle was, like, to going bad. It did go badly, but what I don't know is, like, was that just a bunch of bad rolls, or is that just, like, that's how a fight with a Shock Serpent should go, given our equipment? And I think it's the latter, honestly. So, I don't know, that was a bad fight to take, and I was in the middle of talking about how Shock Serpents are harder than you, how it's easy to underestimate Shock Serpents, and then, like, what do? I don't play a Shock Serpent, like, so, you know, just mumble, I'm just mumbling. But, I don't know, I gotta, like, pay a little more attention to diction when I'm recording, because it is easy to sort of trail off and mumble a bit, and sometimes it's hard for me to hear what I was... When I look back over the footage, it's hard for me to tell what I was saying. I'm like, I should remember. I don't know, I think it's probably, like, okay. What the heck is this ending? I don't remember this. Why are there trees? Alright, well, it tried to teleport me, but failed. This is already way more monsters than I want at a time, so we're gonna back off. Hello, back off. There we go. We should be, I think, okay to fight these guys in sequence, as long as they don't get a lot more in here. and we don't have to fight them all at once. Yeah, okay, so we vamped right through that salamander. That's nice. What kind of help? It's a Naga corpse. Okay, so definitely no reason at all to butcher it, even if I were feeling food insecure. And we'll just eat some bread. Okay, so that went fine. They don't have haste, right? Right, okay. It's just the Naga mages and greater Nagas, or Naga Rajas, I should say, who have haste. Naga sharpshooters do plenty of damage without haste. There's a reason that like they're one of the more frightening monsters in Snake. Actually, I would say they're the most frightening kind of Naga you can run into in Snake. Snakes might be more frightening than them, but I think they're more frightening than greater Nagas. They're just so accurate and they do so much damage. Whereas Nagarajas have a lot of like kind of meh spells that they can cast and some like decent damage, but they don't constantly hit their hardest hitting. They don't constantly use their hardest hitting spell over and over. Whereas for Naga sharpshooters, it's like their hardest hitting spell is just shooting you in the face, and that's all they have to do. So they do it a lot. All right, I'm gonna duck in here. I don't want to fight these guys all at once especially not in a place where a Guardian Serpent could blink lots of them on top of me. That's the nice thing about kill holes, is that you're safe from Guardian Serpent's primary scary effect, which is the blink allies encircling. It's also nice to only fight guys one-on-one, but like I don't know, you can often arrange that just in a corridor or something. Except for Guardian Serpents, for who like that's why they're scary, is that being in a corridor is not good enough. You can get surrounded anyway. But when you have free access to kill holes, or even like when I see Guardian Serpents as a non-Formicid, I tend to spend Disintegration to make a kill hole if there's any chance of other monsters getting involved. And that really, it doesn't totally neutralize them, but it makes them a lot less frightening. Okay, so I don't really recognize this vault here. Like, I don't know what the heck that's all about. I don't know if it's part of the end vault or just like a generic vault that happened to place in Snake, or a new Snake vault that I haven't seen before. So I don't know. I'm on my toes. That's now this has to be the end vault, right? There's just like no way it's not. There's way too many monsters in there. So this thing up here must just be like some other kind of whatever. Some other kind of whatever. Wow, very clear. Yeah, we can still dig in here. Ow, that was a lot of damage. But like this is how you want Snake to go, really, is just being kill hold and handling them one at a time, because most of the monsters are not a huge threat one-on-one. I don't know. That's true of a lot of places, I guess. And like, why do we mostly only kill hole in Snake and Elf? I guess because the monsters in Snake and Elf. There's a couple reasons. I don't know the answer. Like, one reason you could imagine the answer to be is that like the monsters in Snake and Elf are particularly susceptible to, like, they're particularly strong when out in the open, or particularly weak when kill hold. That's possible. It certainly is true for Guardian Serpents and for a number of the monsters in Elf, right? Like Demonologists. Was something in there anti-magic or something? How come I was low on MP? I don't know. Maybe that was still from a Mana Viper or something? Anyway, I guess it's because Snake and Elf both have a clearly defined high threat level end vault that has terrain that is not super hard to dig, and the benefits are clear. In Swamp, it's hard. It's very hard to kill whole because of trees, right? So that's pretty obvious. In Spider, I don't know. I kill whole some in Spider. It's very important too, in fact, because they can surround you. But I guess in Spider, you're always a lot more close to an edge. I don't know. I don't know exactly like what the point of all the speculation even is, really. I'm not sure that I'm going to come up with a satisfactory resolution anytime soon. I think the answer may be like, no, you actually do just as much kill holing elsewhere. It's just that Spider is, sorry, that Snake and Elf are more famous for it for some reason. I don't know. Wow, this guy is hitting like a truck. Let's just eat some bread. A ruby potion, a new kind of potion. Oh, good, degeneration. Glad to have that out of the way. Now let's mark this as no thanks, just in case I forget and auto explore. Okay, some shops. That's cool. Man, fighting guys with anti-magic always scares me because I see like out of the corner of my eye, I see a gigantic dip up in this top right area, which like I'm used to thinking of as my health going down a lot. Like when I'm playing, I'm generally not staring at that area, but I do register like out of the corner of my eye big changes happening there. And usually that's, there's a lot of good stuff here. Usually that's your HP getting just wrecked, and like that's awful. So it's a very strong signal that like something is going wrong if you see a big dip up there. And when you're fighting anti-magic guys, that sort of gets triggered as a false alarm, and so I'm always like, oh no. Okay, so do we want any of this stuff? The ring is the only thing that's particularly interesting. And indeed, I think we do want it. It's better than our Ring of Strength. Even if we can't really evoke... Is it better? I forgot we have repel missiles. In terms of damage output, the rule of thumb that I have heard is that 2 strength is roughly equivalent to 1 slaying. So 2 slay is nominally better than 3 strength. It's about as good as 4 strength, right? A, I don't know how true that rule of thumb is, and B, there are other effects from strength, namely reducing our armor's encumbrance rating. I don't think that's a huge deal, but it could cost us like 1 EV maybe, and make our spells a little harder to cast. Definitely worthwhile if we can make use of the invisibility. Well, invocations are at 10. Let's turn those down. And let's actually start working on Evo. And get that ring. I'm going to go for that. Because I think being invisible will help a lot in Snake. Yes, not Snake, Swamp. Here, everything sees invisible, basically. But in Swamp, being able to be invisible is pretty advantageous. Another evocables shop, huh? Yeah, 2 gadget shops and a jewelry shop. Alright. Well, let's drop this Ring of Strength, I think. Yeah. And this is a good excuse to train a little in evocations. it'll improve the value of these wands that we're carrying around, even if they're like still not great. Huh. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe polymorph or something will be good. It's just nice to have wands, and like there's also a ton of miscellaneous evocables for sale. So Invocations training will not go to waste. It's another thing that we're just pouring experience into, right? But we have a good aptitude. Getting 5 or 6 levels or so shouldn't be too hard, and it could be quite useful in Swamp, so that's fine. I don't want to train a bunch of it, but 5 or 6 levels ought to be alright. Okay, so now we're faced with a choice, which is, do we go into the end vault? Actually, I don't even know if this or this is the entrance to the end vault. I think it's got to be down there, though, right? This is just far enough away that it's not really part of the end vault, I think. I was tapping out in the open like an idiot. Give me back some HP, please. Okay, that's better. There are some corpses here. You know what? Let's make some spores. Yes. And let's dig out of the way so it doesn't blow up on us. Okay, there it goes. It blew up. Ooh, confuse the sharpshooter. That's not bad. And let's evolve this as well. And step out of the way before it can blow us up. I haven't heard it explode at all, which is a little bit sad. I'm not sure what the deal is there. Is it still alive? It looks dead, actually. They must have killed it before it could do anything interesting. Yeah. Oh well. Alright, well, you know what? Let's make some more spores. Ah! Okay, wait. It should ask me before... No, I guess that's not true. It was correct to ask me and then fail. Yes. There you go. Have fun, guys. Go find something to blow up. Ow. Alright, we're at Evo level 2 already. That's nice. Invisibility is still pretty hard to evoke, but it doesn't need to be at super high reliability to be useful. You just need to be able to be like, okay, there's a monster sort of in the area who can't detect invisible, and I want to fight it with a buff. Let's work on a little strength, actually. Now that our strength is a fair bit lower than it was earlier. Okay, keep an eye out for the end vault. Make sure we don't stumble into it, but it doesn't look like it's over here. Yeah. I mean, obviously we knew the end vault was over here. It's just a question of how far east does it extend. Is what we needed to keep track of to figure out if we were stumbling into it. Does he find me? Yeah, okay. Okay, there's still a number of Nagas. A sea snake? What? Okay, I mean, this is snake. I guess you're allowed. It's just they're not normal snake spawns, and so it must be coming from inside the end vault, I think. Like, you would not expect sea snakes in here normally. Oh, wow. A shock serpent. I didn't notice he had shown up. It's a good thing that we tabbed him so easily. Yeah, let's butcher this one shock serpent corpse. There we go. Okay, well, let's get his attention and get out of there. Yeah. There's just one snake at a time is no problem at all. If this is how we're gonna clear the end vault, I'm happy with that. Now, of course, I don't know that that's really going to happen, but it's a possibility, and that's good enough for me. So let's say I wanted to make some spores out of this. How many would I get? 2. That's not bad. I don't know where they would go, really, that would be useful to me. Yeah, let's say no. We can maybe save that piety for a more clear tactical advantage, or for like getting access to rain finally. A number of snakes can swim, and so it's not that impressive. But the Nagas mostly, I believe, can't swim. And so it's a huge debuff for them to be in the water. All right, for 3 spores, I accept. Go wreak havoc, kids. I heard an explosion. There must be some... Yeah. Okay, I shouldn't have walked into that. Idiot. All right, well, that didn't go too badly, honestly. We got some... ballistomacetes all over the level. See, we're paving the way for good tactical advantages later on. Okay, yes, we have found the entrance to the end vault. And I think monsters from inside it have been gradually trickling out, which is nice, yeah. Like this sea snake. And now I have good ground to fall back to with these ballistomacetes. Invisibility's down to 54, not bad. It looks like the ballistomacetes didn't spread any further north, which is too bad. I would like to have this area sort of peppered with ballistomacetes as well if I could. But that's asking a lot. And this is maybe not the most efficient kill hole. Like, I think we could do like this or something. It doesn't really work in terms of guardian serpents because they can still blink stuff around you. Maybe, I guess like this would be better, right? Maybe I'll dig that out on the next pass. Yeah, there we go. That's nicer. It's a little closer. You don't have to do as much running away from them while they shoot at you. Let's go ahead and eat this guy as well. Back off. Oh, might as well shout. Ooh, got a few more responding shouts than I was hoping for there. Okay, how are we looking? Yowza! Back to the kill hole. Back to safety. How's it looking now? Not too bad. Ugh, I can't. Buttons. That was my fault. That was not the game lagging. I just like was pushing the wrong buttons to walk out. I was getting confused about it, I think. Whew, that was a lot of poison damage, I guess. Hey, it's a Ballistamacete. How did you get here? Has he always been there? No, I just heard an explosion. Yeah, they're spreading. Nice. That's why getting those spores down early is helpful. Because that gives them time to sort of just spread all over the place and give you access to Ballistomacetes all over the level, ideally. It's kind of a long-term investment, but you're not usually on any given floor for so long that you know ahead of time that you're going to want that help. So I don't know. It's a good thing to do if you are beginning a floor that you know will be hard, is to just like, hello, buttons, is to just put down some spores, some preparatory spores, I guess. You might even call them prophylactics, I don't know. Probably not. But it is just sort of like sowing the seeds of a better tactical environment. Hey, we got rain. Nice. And it's at 8% because we trained more invocations. So that's nice. Alright, this whole area is cleared out. But there's still a lot left. And right where I am, it's not clear exactly what the right way back to safety is, because this Guardian Serpent can blink stuff on top of us. I think the idea is to just run away as fast as possible, and if stuff gets blinked on top of us, that's fine, because there were not a lot of monsters in the area to blink on top of us. If I had stood and fought, trying to eliminate the Guardian Serpent before I commit to running away, we might have been surrounded and unable to run. So I elected to run even while it was possible for the Guardian Serpent to get a number of free hits and blinks. Because I didn't want to get surrounded and lose my retreat option. Okay, yeah. It looks like a ton of the monsters in here, but not quite all of them have already trickled out and been taken care of individually. So hopefully there's not a ton of resistance left, but there is. But can you imagine trying to fight this all at once, as opposed to over the course of quite a long time, as we actually have done? It's just a nightmare. Even like one Nagaraja is no joke. Alright, back to our safety up here, and rest. Don't rest in there, where any old snake could stumble upon you. Yeah, these guys are really quite dangerous. And if we had to fight them, like even a 2-on-1 is quite possibly lethal. A 1-on-1 is dangerous. Although we have handled them all, they have gotten to the point of like where I'm definitely thinking like, maybe I should be using a consumable of some sort. But we haven't actually needed to. Whereas if I were fighting them in a 2-on-1, like, it would be a disaster, I think. We could easily be killed. Whereas in a 1-on-1, I think we have to get some pretty poor rolls and make some big mistakes in order to be killed. The main mistake being just like not recognizing that we're not getting lucky this time. I'm not saying that like there's a bunch of tactical thought that goes into like tabbing a Nagaraja and hoping not to die. I think that just tabbing them and hoping not to die like is a good approach. We're strong enough relative to them that in a one-on-one, that's a fine way to fight them. But it's not a guaranteed win, and so we have to keep an eye out for when the fight is going badly enough that you have to back off from the plan of just like tabbing them until they die. We're obviously we're letting this guy tail us on purpose to get him back here, where he's not going to have the advantage of range. Huh. The spores are just like killing nagas and snakes for us now. I don't know if we get experience for that. But it's thinning the herd at least. Alright, there's a rune. We didn't learn apportation, so we're going to have to go pick it up. Hello? Yeah, there it is. And out of curiosity, how's Invis? 38. That's probably fine. Yeah, evocations at 7.5 is all right. I guess I'll let it get to 8 and try to remember to turn it off. We're wearing a shield of... This is a +3 shield. Okay. So a large shield would be a great investment, I think. I thought we were wearing like a shield of reflection or something, in which case it might be worth sticking with a normal-sized one. For most races, of course, a large shield is a poor investment because you don't want to get to 25. You don't want to spend 25 points in a skill to be able to like use a weaker one-handed weapon instead of your good two-handed weapon. But for Formicid, of course, the shield's investment is less, and the weapon trade-off is not one that you have to actually make. You can still wield a two-hander. So large shields are pretty good for Formicids. And let me just double check that it is, yes, 15, which is not too bad. So that's something I'd like to pick up. And in fact, let's go grab it. Oh, hang on. There's a number of things wrong with that plan. The first is that apparently there's a bunch of monsters still here. The second is that Snake 2 is not a safe place. So that auto travel to Snake 2 to pick up the large shield is like exactly why I annotated the level with like danger, don't go here. So that if I forget, as I just did, auto travel won't like take me into Jorgren's arms. Okay, so which staircase is looking safe here? Oh, I see. None of them. All right. Well, where's the staircase we haven't explored then? That one? Just double check. I don't know where. Wait. Is this an explored staircase? I guess it's green, yeah. Ah, yeah. I was auto traveling to this one. Okay. And this one, indeed, I don't know where it goes. Okay. Yes. Okay. I think the idea is just make a break for the staircase. St. Rocha probably is not still around, right? Not still right there, anyway. But I kind of want to stare dance these Nagas and Salamanders first. They're all wearing pole arms. Very funny. Upstairs, yes. Downstairs. Wait, there's an exclusion here? No. Oh, there's a staircase, yeah. Alright, we remembered to turn off evocations. Great. Let's get working on shields. Okay, well, we're getting, some free-ish experience while we work up the courage to go deal with St. Rocha. There's still a lot of monsters in there. It's kind of troubling. I think it's probably orcs. But certainly it's nice as a Formicid to know that there's still monsters there, as opposed to like some other race would have to scroll the blinking. Oh, why am I a Formicid? Another race would have to just sort of hope that he's not there anymore. An escape hatch. I accept. Yes. I will just go grab this large shield, the one on Snake 1. Oh, look at all these plants everywhere. Boy, Fedhas would approve. Wow, this place is nuts! Alright, let's grab the shield. They're everywhere! Wow! I love coming back to a Fedhas level after letting nature take its course. Alright. Well, we did it. We went and got a rune, and that's going to be the end of this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.